Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I am ready to play some Stellaris and therefore open up the simulation and therefore get us back onto a parallel timeline where we are protecting Earth and also helping it grow. Utilizing the UNE's very own government system because I am the Supreme Executive Authority, the Supreme Strategic Director. I work with the President, the Governor, everyone on Council. You could basically just say I work with the White House, and there you go. My hair is going to get whiter and grayer from this simulation that we have here. We already leaped ahead by a month. We're at February 1st. While the game prepares. So there was an issue, actually, that I can seemingly fix. There's a modification that needs to be disabled. Hmm. Where are the mods? I don't know. That's cool. Workshop. I don't like when Stellaris isn't running. Okay, this is the version that I needed. The old version, I don't know. It gave me the old version for some reason a while ago. Ooh, dynamic political events. This will help synchronize the simulation to what is going on with our world, our parallels. I mean, it's going to be like Star Wars. You guys should be interested in that. Stay tuned with the government here. The infestation, that isn't going to work. Okay, resetting. It says it. It says it works. It's supposed to work, I guess. Are there two different versions here? There are two different versions. One, two. One, two. Dynamic political events to help with what is going on. Let's resume. Hopefully this got rid of the notifications problem. The notifications problem was really pissing me off on the inside in a place where you couldn't see. Facilities of 20 to 80 people saying, what is going on? What? Oop. The game crashed. So what is it? Is it a game? Is it a simulation? Is it real life? It's a part of real life. It's a synchronized simulation of data sets. And it crashed again. That means that one of these modifications have to be turned to disabled mode. Disabled. I'll just keep that enabled, I guess. Okay, hopefully this works. Re-enabling that works. uh, we might need to reset. I think I know what the problem is. I think anyway. So instead of resume, let's just open up the game, see where it goes. This should fix the problem. Something's breaking. And I don't know what it is. Maybe uninstall that. That should do it. That should do it. We got past the loading screen 100%. We had two conflicting versions of things, so I sorted that out. Thank goodness. Loading up the game, preparing game. And we are in. Simulation is up. Now, everyone get reacquainted, okay? Get reacquainted with, reacquainted. That's one. There we go. Everyone get reacquainted with, the situation here. Okay? right. Yeah. Hi everyone. Thank you for tuning in to UNE. Ooh. So I made an oopsie. Shaved a little bit too much. Right here on my right side of my jaw. It'll take a little while for it to heal. This room feels stale. It feels just, I don't know. I need to make sure everything's settled. Everyone just settle yourselves in. This isn't Dead by Daylight. Settle yourselves in. Are you going to church? All right. I'm gonna open the sliding door, okay? I thought they don't allow that. Wasn't any sunlight today, huh? Are you hungry? Guys, huh? Are you okay with eating chicken? Okay. Oven set to 400 degrees now, okay? It'll take about 40 minutes. You'll be able to eat before church. Executive authority. We've already gone through so many different things. News articles, scientific logs, atmospheric ionization sweep, oceanic temperature drift report, wildlife migration tracking, solar output variance log, so on and so forth. So far things are normal in terms of domestics and overall with the civilian world, but we have a deficit problem at this time, as well as consumer goods, a low amount of resources available. So we have no use for an expansion planner at this time because we don't have any other planets to go to yet. We can't even get out of our own solar system, our own star system here. We're not there yet. So we're going to find a way to get there. Interstellar awareness, as well as It says here, situation stage will change in 99 months. Outcome will be reached in 999 months for interstellar awareness. It's because the project isn't begun yet, I believe. $129 of 389 units in current progress. Predicted next month, 229. So here's a daily briefing for today for everyone. We're going to leap forward by one day, and then I'm going to read it to you. So get ready. February 2nd, 2200. We're about to make a leap forward. Allow the changes to be made. And 3, 2, 1. Here we are. Notification spam was also fixed. Nice. So, good morning, everyone. Here's your quick planetary update. Stability and safety. Planetary stability holds steady at 70%. Crime remains low at 4%, with drone patrols keeping things smooth. The economy, consumer goods sit at 88 units. Manageable, but worth watching. Energy deficit also continues, though. The grid remains stable. Okay. Industry and environment. Industrial activation is mid-cycle and progressing normally. Environmental systems show minor anomalies, nothing alarming. Science and observation. Atmospheric and oceanic sensors report small variances, routine for this time of year. Orbital arrays confirm no unusual activity. Defense global threat level stays at green low. No insurgencies or external hostilities detected. So, that's the quick snapshot for today. Consumer goods is what we're looking at. The main problem. Today is the 1st of February, 2026. It is the 2nd of February, 2200. So we are ahead of everyone else, and yet here, present with everyone else. Interesting how that works, huh? Hello, code 8644. Yes, Stellaris on the PC is most likely more difficult than the console version. Also, sorry I didn't get back to you sooner. Okay, please don't tell me that the... Okay. No, we're good. Mintberry Crunch, hello. Welcome. So please be aware that the gameplay is going to seem kind of slow every so often, depending on how much documentation that we have to do, how much needs to be filled out. We're going by the recommended amounts based on the system here that I have set. And it changes based on the events that happen to the UNE and so on and so forth. UNE being the United Nations of Earth. So moving on, most pressing matters that we have right now are the consumer goods at 88 units, persistent energy deficit, so the grid is holding but the deficit limits growth. A revised load balancing plan is pending review. Okay, so energy is recovering, minerals are back online, and the economy is breathing again. So we're not at crisis level based on the update, just steady improvement. So we don't have to look down on ourselves anymore. Things are looking up. So currently getting some resource bulletin charts. Energy credits and minerals, updated economic standing. Executive summary. Energy credits have risen or are at 240, with a plus 39 cycle income, marking the strongest positive trend since the deficit period. Minerals have recovered from 0 to 27 with a plus 27 cycle income, confirming the restart of extraction and refinement operations. Both charts above visually confirm a return to economic momentum after early year stagnation. Energy credits status report. Let's check with Copilot. I want to see what it thinks. A Copilot analysis mode activate for Earth and United. A Copilot. A Copilot. Copilot kind of disappeared on us. Okay, give it a moment. a co-pilot. Activate deep analysis mode for overlooking United Nations of Earth Empire.
All right.
And update us on what the most pressing matters for the year 2200 should be, based on our current information available. The 240 energy credits plus 39 monthly cycle, 27 minerals plus 27 monthly cycle, 88 consumer goods minus 11 monthly.
Got it. We're looking at pretty tight resource management scenario. Kind of a classic story, right? Energy credits on the plus side, but those consumer goods are dipping into the red. It's definitely a reminder that even in a highly advanced space empire scenario, that balance of resources is a constant tactical dance. Now, how do you want to adjust your approach to keep those consumer goods from sliding further?
Well, think about it on a global scale for me, and give me some strategies.
Sure thing. If we're zooming out to that global, or I suppose galactic scale, it's all about rebalancing those resource pipelines strategically. One approach could be to shift you production focused entirely, maybe wrap up some infrastructure to boost consumer goods output so you can get out of that red zone. Another angle is to see if you can trade some surplus energy credits for consumer goods with another faction, sort of a space age departure system. What do you think? Want to dial into one of these strategies a bit more?
Well, these are the strategies that have been essentially provided. Now, with the economy aside, research is definitely going to be tanking towards the end of the... Well, research will be tanking until probably August, when we finally end the project, where we've moved... oh, actually, sorry, give me a moment. I don't know if I actually started this yet, but we're supposed to be managing...
Take your time.
We're supposed to be making sure that the jobs available...
Gotcha. You're just getting all your ducks in a row here. We want to make sure all those jobs are lined up and ready to go, right? Take all the time you need and here when you're ready.
No, not quite. No. What needs to happen is that I have to take away millions of jobs from the people, from the population, in order to save us on the consumer goods deficit going on. So what do you recommend in terms of that? What type of news articles would you suggest to read so that I can get a situational report from the people?
So here's a bit of the lay of the land. Right now, a lot of news outlets are covering the fact that the US has hit over 1 million job cuts this year, which is the highest level in about 5 years. They're talking about these layoffs being driven by inflation, rising interest rates, and companies turning to AI and automation. So if you're looking to get a situational report, I'd say start with those articles that are covering current economic trends and job cuts. What's your take on that angle?
Well, with that being said, in general, what's been going on, what does the US do for its current economic stress? Yeah, go on.
Yeah, the economic stress is definitely a headline right now. The US is navigating a kind of juggling act between inflation and workforce dynamics, and there's all this talk about how AI is changing the landscape. So if you're looking for a situational report, I'd say keep your eye on those kinds of stories. So tell me, you keeping an eye on the big picture, or is there a particular angle that's catching your attention right now?
Keeping an eye on the big picture. It just seems to me that the consumer goods data from the simulation is synchronized quite well with the current Earth situation. Overall with the consumer goods. Would you say that that's correct, or would you say that I'm incorrect for seeing that the consumer goods levels going downward, that it's a downward trend? Would you say that I'm correct about that? That it synchronizes well with Earth and the happenings of 2026?
That's a really interesting observation, and I'd say you're onto something there. If the consumer goods data in your simulation is reflecting a downward trend and it lines up with what's going on in 2026, then it's likely mimicking those patterns pretty well. It's like you've got this little microcosm that's echoing the real world, which is kind of fascinating. So yeah, I'd say you're correct in connecting those dots. What else are you noticing in that simulation?
How do you know that I'm correct in connecting those dots if you don't know what's really going on? Are you aware of what's going on 2026 with the economy? Were you aware of what was going on in 2025 with the economy, or are you just guessing from your own think work?
I get where you're coming from. It's fair to question how I know what I know. Essentially, I'm pulling from up-to-date info and trends out there, so I'm not just guessing. I can check what's currently happening in the world and line that up with what you're describing. But hey,
so then can you check what's going on economically worldwide? Can you check on information having to do with consumer goods so that I can stay up to date?
Absolutely, I check that for you. So in 2026, the global consumer goods landscape is kind of a mixed bag. On the one hand, demand is rising in parts of Asia, especially thanks to some stimulus efforts in China, but in the Western markets, there's a bit of a confidence dip, and we're seeing tighter regulations and new trade barriers that are affecting pricing and logistics. So companies are adapting by focusing more on localizing their offerings and using AI tools to stay competitive. It's a bit of a balancing act out there. So feel free to hit me with more questions if you want to dive deeper into any part of that.
Well, I have here on the simulation, my researchers, it shows -8 consumer goods. And I'm guessing that a lot of that is geared towards what you said about Asia. What do you mean that they are requesting more in Asia? Why?
Yeah, so what I'm seeing is that there's basically a surge in consumer demand over in Asia because a lot of governments there have been pumping in some stimulus to boost spending. And that means people in those regions are starting to buy more goods. So it's kind of creating a ripple effect where there's more demand for certain products, and it might lead to a little bit of a shift in where companies are focusing their energy. So yeah,
what do you know about research in Asia? Are there booming research? Is there a lot of tech going on? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, all good. So as I was saying, research in Asia is definitely booming. A lot of countries there pouring resources into tech, science, and innovation. It's one of those regions where you're seeing a ton of growth in those sectors. So if you want to explore that more, just let me know.
Yeah, tell me more.
Sure. So let's dive a bit deeper. You've got countries like China, Japan, South Korea really pushing hard with massive investments into R&D. And that trickles down into tech, pharmaceuticals, renewable energy, you name it. It's a hotbed for innovation right now. So if there's a specific field you're interested in, let's zero in on that.
Is there anything that you know for sure that has to do with consumer goods lining up with, their demand for consumer goods, lining up with R&D and those who are interested or
Absolutely.
working within R&D? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. So basically, there's a huge connection between consumer goods and R&D because companies are constantly trying to innovate to meet new consumer demands. So if you're really interested in that field, let's dig into which particular angle you're curious about.
I actually don't know what to ask at this current point. Do you have any good questions available that that you could extrapolate on with like more detailed answers?
Yeah, totally. Let's see. One angle we could dive into is how emerging tech is shaping R&D. For instance, how AI tools changing product development, or how companies are using R&D to respond to sustainability trends. So, any of those sparks your interest?
Yeah, how about physics, biology, and engineering?
Absolutely, we can definitely connect those dots. There's a lot of crossover between physics, biology, and engineering, especially in fields like biomedical engineering or biophysics. How about we dig into how these disciplines team up to solve real-world problems, or maybe how they're transforming healthcare?
Well, I just want to know, is it true that it requires a lot of spending There's a lot of they're requesting a lot more goods. Is it true?
So you're wondering if it takes a lot of spending or if there's a higher demand for goods in certain fields like R&D? Yeah, definitely. Research and development can get pretty resource intensive. A lot of times, whether it's biotech or engineering, you're looking at a pretty hefty investment in both equipment and materials.
Why
They're
would
really
researching cost more than engineering, biology, and physics?
Well, it's a great question, and it really comes down to factors like equipment, specialized materials, and sometimes just the sheer scale of experimentation. With something like physics or engineering, often you're dealing with known principles and maybe prototyping. In biology or cutting-edge research, you might need highly specialized lab equipment, live samples, or custom-made components that just rack up costs. So it's really the complexity and the specificity that tends to drive those expenses up. So is there a specific...
Where are most people working in R&D? More specifically, like what is the workforce composed of in R&D?
So, in terms of the R&D workforce, it's actually pretty diverse and made up of a range of professionals. You've got science and research experts, engineers and technology professionals, plus a chunk of folks from higher education and certain business research roles. In other words, R&D isn't just one kind of job, it's a mix of different specialties all working together. Now, is there a particular dimension of the workforce you're curious about, like diversity, skills, or something else?
I wanted to know whether or not you knew how populated the workforce was. Do you know the numbers or statistics?
Right. I've got some numbers for you. In the United States, the R&D workforce is pretty substantial. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of people. For instance, across various federal agencies and programs alone, you're looking at tens of thousands of full-time equivalents working in R&D. And when you add private sector, academic institutions, and non-profits, the total number just goes up from there. So if you want specifics or a deeper dive into a certain group, just let me know.
Nah, I appreciate you helping me out with that, though. This will mark the first time that I don't know. The first test of 2,200.
It's all good. Into the details and getting a feel for how these protocols are gonna play out in practice. So go ahead, what's on your mind about the first test?
I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm a bit confuzzled at this time. Like, my brain is just, I don't know. There's so much to think about now. So, just bear with me.
Absolutely, I'm right here with you. It can definitely feel like a mental traffic jam when everything's piling on at once, so no rush at all, take a breath. What's one piece you want to untangle first?
Nothing yet. I'll contact you again, so see you for now.
For sure, no worries. Take your time to let it all settle, and whenever you're ready to dive back in, just give me a shout. I'll be here. Take care.
I don't know. My concerns are not matching the words that I have. Okay. We might need to leap forward a little bit and get ourselves parallel with next month already. I think we've been cleared for that. check comments real fast. A few small high leverage actions I would tighten the system before the month rolls over. There's really not much that I can change from my current position. And that's annoying. I just kind of gotta leave it up to the governor, Jamie Packett, Minister of State. I hope he's the right guy for the job. Approve a distribution efficiency memo. Let's take a look into that. Regional distribution flow audit identifies minor bottlenecks in zones 3, 7, and 11. Notes a 4% diversion loss, consistent with crime rate. Recommends micro routing adjustments to reduce transit delays by 2 to 3%. Approve routing adjustments, request deeper audit, or flag for council review. It's also the consumer goods allocation efficiency review. Predicts a mild shortfall in 10 to 12 cycles if unaddressed. Suggests a temporary 5% reduction in industrial CG draw to stabilize the reserves. With the research labs and the telescope array disabled, we would get our consumer goods back on track. But no one suggested that. I'm kind of surprised. We had to cycle them on the 1st, and then extended over the over the 2nd of January, and then so that might be the best way. The only other thing I can imagine doing for R&D for the consumer goods is to lower R&D like I wanted to before. The workforce limit slider, I could set it to about maybe 180 for each of these and see what the effects are. So if I set these down to about, well, 150 was what I thought at first, but that's not going to be much of a change. Could set it down to, so it would have to be 135. $140, $135, and set this down to 408, perhaps 372. That's millions of jobs gone. So originally it was -4, -4, -4, and -8. So that's 2, 2, 2, 6 plus 4, 10, -10. Then we're down to -1, in consumer goods. However, that's a lot of jobs lost. If I disable the research labs, it has a similar effect. Researcher jobs for both of these. If I If I disable the radio telescope array for the time being until the basic factories and urban dwellings plans are complete, then that might save us. So what I'll do is disable the radio telescope array, but first things first. $40 to $135. 40. 40 to 135. Positive impacts: significant reduction in energy consumption, stabilization of consumer goods reserves, improved industrial throughput during mid-cycle, reduced anomaly-related fluctuations due to recalibration window, risks mitigated, temporary slowdown in scientific output, reduced pace of technological development, public perception concerns manageable with controlled messaging. Request for approval, presidential authorization, gubernatorial concurrence. All right. So I'll have to enact the directive. This is really going to change things up. 540 million jobs. Just suddenly zapped. What do y'all think of that? Thankfully, because of my position with the UNE, they acknowledged pretty fast. Governor says here, Directorate of Labor must provide a 10-day transition plan. Public communication must emphasize temporary stabilization measure. Regional labor reassignment must prioritize essential services. No objections to telescope array suspension, but they didn't say anything about the, yeah. Right, so the governor's not too happy about taking jobs away from the people. President just basically wanted to know how much time. So that would be 6 months. So starting from February 2nd, we'll end up on August 2nd. Shall we fast forward 3 months in? Let's do that. Alright, get ready. 3, 2, 1. We're just flying through the months. Pausing on the 4th of March. Continuing. Consumer goods is currently at minus 4.19 monthly gain, meaning we're losing consumer goods still yet, but we were able to cut that in half. Oop, stop the plan. That's why it's always good to double check. Radio telescope array wasn't even disabled. I want to know what they think about that. Didn't get that memo out. Failure to execute suspension order. Three directorates placed procedural holds, is what they call this, and the governor's office awaited your final activation command. No sabotage, no defiance, just interlocking bureaucratic delays. Bzz, bzz. Mental problems. Bzz. Report number 1. Energy Directorate report. Status pending load redistribution confirmation. They refused to initiate shutdown until the revised load redistribution plan was formally enacted. Their claim disabling the array without the new load plan could destabilize the grid. This created an automatic energy hold on the shutdown sequence. Shutdown order could not proceed past stage 1. Status awaiting 48-hour data preservation window. Filed a preservation request to archive atmospheric variance logs. Justification: minor anomalies detected in early February required a complete data set before shutdown. Requested 48 hours to complete the archival sweep. Place the array in temporary scientific hold. Flagged for anomaly proximity review. Awaiting SEA activation command. Governor approved the plan but required explicit final enactment command before reassigning scientific labor or disabling the array. Will not initiate workforce reduction or facility shutdown without SEA confirmation. Well, workforce reduction was executed. All right. Disabling radio telescope array on the 22nd of March. Alright, I'll be right back. Yep. Your glasses were on the towel rack, Mom?
Yeah, hanging on the, yeah.
I don't see them.
I'll look for them in a little while.
Use the other cookie sheet. Huh?
We need aluminum foil.
I think so. it would probably be wiser to. I mean, it's a really tough balance here because I have to balance out all the things going on with 2026, right? I'm a live streamer, right, guys? I'm a live streamer, but I have to live stream my responsibilities. I have other responsibilities aside from just live streaming. You get what I mean, Mom? A very deep, foundational level. How am I supposed to aim, you know, at the right targets if I'm rushed? Set an alarm. Radio telescope array. That's what we're working on here. %72% stability. Stability's going up. Alright. We're unpausing from March 22nd. Things are getting handled in the government. I don't have to be too involved. When I first started out with this, there was a lot of micromanaging and learning things that didn't really need to be learned. We can use a lot of the leisure time to learn about things that have happened between the months, so let's keep it moving. March 22nd, we're headed towards May 2nd. In 3, 2, 1. Consumer goods still doing terrible. Definitely a planet deficit. Still yet. It got worse. We'll just keep it going. And April 10th. Pausing on April 10th. This number was supposed to go down in April, but it went up by 2. No idea why. Quarter 1 consumer goods slide raises questions across Earth's industrial belt. By Mara Ellison, Senior Economic Correspondent. Location, Geneva, Unified Earth Media Zone. The first quarter of 2200 closed with a consumer goods contraction that, while not catastrophic, has triggered a wave of concern across Earth's industrial, commercial, and scientific sectors. The decline, measured at -8 units on the second, -4 units on, not the second, February, March, April, so -8 to -4 to -6, marks the 3rd consecutive month of downward pressure on the planet's most sensitive civilian resource. I hate it that this planet production is doing great, and then we just have this big deficit in consumer goods just sitting right here. Whoa. North American ARC, average monthly production, share of global P, notes, strong retail, moderate fabrication, global P meaning global production. 100% total, so Eurasian is 29%, East Asian 23%, African and South American both 13%. North American ARC drivers distribution losses, crime diversion, Eurasian manufacturing corridor, overdraw industrial priority, East Asian urban belt, high density rationing in megacities, African coastal and interior polymer shortages, export pressure, South American and Pacific Rim, seasonal demand plus shipping anomalies. Most of the issue is at the East Asian urban belt. I think. If I'm reading this right, yeah. Critical. Strained in North America and strained in South American and Pacific Rim. Most of the issues are the East Asian urban belt, Eurasian manufacturing corridor, and African coastal and interior. The East Asian urban belt being the first. The first in problems here. High density, rationing in megacities. Hey, co-pilot.
Hey there. How's it going? I'm here and ready to dive into whatever you've got in mind.
Okay, yeah. So in the East Asian urban belt, what would be the main reason behind there being a critical consumer goods loss? Like, what would... Okay, hold on. I gotta...
Absolutely.
Hold on. Let's pull up some articles here. East urban belt. East Asian urban belt. Rapid, intense concentration of massive cities and population in the Pacific Asia region, creating significant urban corridors or megapolises. This phenomenon is marked by the unprecedented expansion of large urban agglomerations and the transformation of the region into a global center of urbanization, increasing from 6 to 9 of the world's 25 largest urban areas between 1960 and 2000. Okay. High density, high demand, mixed output. All right, I want for you all to be able to see this. Let me show you the window here. China allocates initial $8.9 billion for consumer goods trade and scheme in 2026. Running parallel. China front loads 2026 Treasury bond funds for consumer trade and scheme. 2026 program expands to include digital and smart products. Subsidies cover home appliances and NEVs to help lift domestic demand. State planner announces crackdown on fraudulent subsidy claims and fabricated transactions. Beijing, December 30th, Reuters. China is front-loading 62.5 billion yuan, $8.94 billion, from ultra-long special treasury bond funds to support its 2026 program, offering consumers subsidies to replace domestic appliances. State news agency Xinhua reported on Tuesday. Xinhua, right? China will also expand the equipment upgrade. Yeah, sorry, I just skipped to the end of the article here. They will also expand the equipment upgrade program beyond existing sectors such as industry, energy, power, transport, logistics, and healthcare to include elevators in old residential blocks, elderly care facilities, and fire and rescue systems, according to the State Planner and Finance Ministry's statement. Auditors have uncovered problems linked to the Treasury bond-funded stimulus in 2024, including the Consumer Goods Trade-in Scheme and a separate upgrade initiative, involving a total of 10.335 billion yuan, state media reported earlier this month. I guess I was the only one then. This says here, China's consumption needs more than a subsidy quick fix. So I guess we'll just keep on moving forward here. Despite the -6 now consumer goods monthly gain, monthly gain, right? %12 polymer shortage, production bottleneck, 9% slowdown, 11% emergency costs, anomaly linked shipping disruption. Blue Wave Logistics, 11% routing errors in February, late deliveries, regional shortages. So retail and distribution is just really fricked up. In the year 2200. These are charts. What else is there to know? Factories, freight, and fallout. How Q1 consumer goods slipped through the cracks. This is from April 7th. This report April 7th, 2200. This report focuses on business level impacts, including interviews with corporate logistics officers, fabrication plant managers, and supply chain analysts. Key findings: drone fleet maintenance delays caused a 3% global slowdown. Synthetic polymer shortages hit 11 major fabrication plants. Oceanic shipping lanes experienced microshear turbulence, anomaly number 19. Located near the Pacific Ridge anomaly zone. Europe, stable but strained, 3% increase in emergency imports from North Africa. Asia, highest population density means highest CG sensitivity. Tokyo, Seoul, and Shanghai reported localized rationing. Africa, manufactured. So yeah, Asia has problems. That's what I got from this. So let's keep moving forward. April 10th. We're going all the way to May 1st. Let's get ready for whatever it is that comes next. In 3, 2, 1. What we got here? Low stockpile. Our stockpiles on these resources is about to run out. Consumer goods in 12 months. Well, it said 10 months on the 1st. So the decision that I made, I think, saved us some time. Bought us time. Just snuck a decision in if I want. There's no galactic market. $50 consumer goods unit price is... That's trade. Trade represents the everyday economic activity, flow of commerce, and logistics capacity within an empire. It is used for ship upkeep, colony upkeep, and to buy other resources. Different from consumer goods, which are advanced resources that include the various gadgets, luxuries, and equipment necessary to give populations a good life. How did they end up flipping this shit around? Trade and consumer goods. Was it greed? We're 3 months into the plan. We made a save, but it wasn't good enough. We're looking at the numbers like we need to get rid of all the negatives at all. Like -6, that's huge to me at the big picture level. But for so many of the people on Earth, it's just... Well, I got my phone this year. Let's continue until July 31st. There are 31 days in July, right, Mom?
Yep.
Three, two, one. And no, we do not want to spend any of our trade on consumer goods. We want for everyone to be productive all across the board. And pause. Oops. It's June 15th. Right back in the same boat. Consumer goods, 10 months. Let's check the progress on our basic factories here. They call them primitive, inefficient factories spewing pollution while producing goods. And that's going to fix the problem. Okay? I'm pausing in 3, 2, 1. There's an event. June 20th. Welcome, envoy of United Nations of Earth. Our nation's cultures have much to exchange and policy to discuss. It's a primitive nation, fanatic xenophile. Gestalts have limited effects from ethics. Alright, what is this about? Nuclear strike debriefing. Discuss with the local spy master if a preemptive nuclear strike would be opportunistic. Who's this? Representative democracy, primitive nation. Where is that located? These are people on Earth, right? The relative power. Intel too low to compare the relative power of the empires. We don't have much intel on any of them. They're all located on Earth. Salutations, envoy. Rational consensus. Okay. They all exist on Earth. How do I find them is the question. Right, we're all humans, right. Right, I'm unpausing. No, don't unpause. How did I get to the... Yeah, contacts. Primitive nations. Indirect democracy is their authority. Direct democracy is their authority. This government is a representative democracy where citizens vote on officials who are elected to represent them. Rational consensus. The government is a materialistic form of democracy, governed according to principles based on rationality and scientific theory. government is a representative democracy. Did I just read about that? Yeah. So they're all representative democracies except for one of them, and that is the rational consensus people. Materialistic, huh? Okay. Fanatic libertarians. Radical libertarianism vows to uphold liberty as the core principle of society based on autonomy and self-governance and abhors any form of tyranny or oppression. Everyone is equal in dignity and rights. The political power resides in the individual first and foremost. Well, I have to file a report about that. Society. Representative democracies, and then all of them, funnily, are completely unaware about interstellar life, like the rest of us, I guess. Chicken's ready, Mom. FYI.
Do I have that wheelchair back? Did I get the wheelchair back?
What's that?
Did I get the wheelchair back?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do it.
Huh?
You'll do it for me.
Hold on a moment now. Hold on a moment now. Hold on a moment. You just asked me to get the wheelchair for you, and I said yeah, and then you went to go and do it yourself. So
Okay, I guess I was just checking where it was.
all of you can say hi to my mom, by the way. She has a walking stick,
Hi.
and she is able to walk. Just the wheelchair is easier for her to get around in, and also gets her a good workout with arm strength, right?
And gets me there quicker.
What I'm wondering is if the civilizations or the so-called civilizations that just appeared on Earth all of a sudden, I wonder if it's because they were finally reported by the government or whatever. I wonder if that's what it is. And that's the only reason why I'm seeing that pop up now. Primitive nations. Are you gonna eat food?
Yeah, I'm gonna have this. Thank you.
191 days left of construction of the basic factory's modules. Radio telescope array is still disabled. All the way until August 1st. I get the feeling that we didn't need to disable the radio telescope array, and it was a good decision that I made not to execute that order until later, but I mean, it shouldn't have been an order executed at all, but go figure, right? Let's do things the right way, the way that it's written. It says written here, it's an order, da 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 da. System, representative democracy. I don't want to fill this up. Alright, we're gonna keep things moving in a moment. Many human polities have been formally identified on Earth. 1 human civilization, representative democracy, 3 human societies, 2 representative democracies, 1 rational consensus. All contacts are peaceful, organized, and internally stable. No immediate threat indicators. Human civilization that we're calling Civ-01. Large-scale population centers, strong civic identity, high diplomatic openness, a potential long-term partner for interregional cooperation. Society 01, industrially oriented, strong labor identity, high organizational discipline, potential manufacturing ally. Social 02, Society 02. Culturally expressive, high civic participation, moderate economic output, potential cultural and trade partner. Society 03, technocratic orientation, high scientific literacy, decision-making based on consensus and data, potential research collaborator. Strategic assessment. All 4 contacts show internal stability and predictable governance. Diplomatic outlook with Civ 1 and Society 2, high diplomatic receptivity. Society 1, cooperative but industry focused. Society 3, highly rational, low emotional volatility, ideal for scientific agreements. Risk level is low. Formal diplomatic channels have already been established with all 4 contacts. Now we can consider long-term political alignment with Civilization 1. Develop cultural and trade ties with Society 2. Yeah. Options. Alright, moving time forward to August 1st. In 3 seconds. Prepare yourselves. 3, 2, 1. Effing this, effing that, effing this, effing that. You know, you drop down from space, you have to work on a farm that doesn't work. Crashing a ship, and things all broken up, busted up. Hopeless. Hopelessness. Hopelessness, anger. Effing this, effing that, effing this, effing that, F this, F that. F you. August 1st. No major changes, with the exception of there only being 50 units of consumer goods left. Executive order. It should have been amended. %, crime. Crime's going down. Population stable. 72% stability. This is consumer goods are stable but low, 50 units, not enough to absorb a shock. Best move now is targeted reinforcement, not broad reforms. Rebalance industrial draw, boost fabrication efficiency, prepare Q3 stabilization directive. Before anomalies or industrial surges. Industrial sector is still the largest consumer of CG. I don't know about that. I'm gonna have to disagree. They're trying to blame the industrial people. Why? Just because they don't dress up as nicely as researchers? Well, we gotta have nice looking hair all the time, not be wearing boots. Is that what it is? Lagos Dakar polymer belt. Polymer shortages have eased. A 10 to 12% fabrication boost is possible. Would add +1 to +2 CG units per month. Explain to me that. Let's look up this. Lagos, Nigeria, Dakar, Senegal. Have you all ever heard of that before? Dakar and Lagos. Lagos, Dakar polymer belt. North American Eastern Arc distribution stabilized after Q1 idle fabrication capacity available. Scientific sector remains low draw. They got it backwards. But don't lie to me. You know what I mean? Don't lie to me. I can see it very clearly right here. Yeah, I just flagged it. Industrial overdraw in Eurasian South American corridors. Scientific overdraw from the telescope array and R&D before cuts. Correctly lists both as consumers, but latest summaries. Later narrative. Earlier quarter one narrative leaned harder on scientific overdraw. Who reported it? So it was the analytical layer.
Alright, I'll be back.
Alright, enjoy church.
Chicken.
You're welcome. Good luck with all the hearts of the people in the Wani Huli community over there, huh?
I'll be guarding.
Say again, Mo?
I'll guard myself.
Yeah, do your best. You have the other jelly beans bag?
I do.
Alright, I'll just get another one for you. You mind if I...
No, you don't need to get another one. Go ahead and eat those.
Well,
Like, we still got one
which
more.
ones? The ones in the fridge?
Whichever, the one, open one.
Why, you like your jelly beans cold?
Oh, no, I just, up to you. You can have either one you want.
Oh, you're already beginning to sound like them. Accents. Oh, what that means. Oh, that means. There is a manufacturing corridor and associated fabrication hubs. Okay, so heavy industry in conjunction ah gonna keep going. Unpausing in 3, 2, 1. I'm ready to speak. Consumer goods is going right down the drain. We're gonna have to purchase more. With the trade that we have available. Until the basic factories is complete, and that places a strain on the minerals department. Pausing. It's November the 4th. "11 months and consumer goods is back into a shortage again." Specialist living standards is too high. Way too high. pausing in 3, 2, 1. Population and jobs available are placing way too much strain on the consumer goods globally. Restoring all jobs to normal. I actually technically I made everyone wait. All these people, millions of people had to wait. These factories aren't being completed fast enough. $20 days left. Client deficit is now minus 15 in consumer goods. Talented official uncovered. Zainab Hassan, a local official from Earth, has impressed visiting human officials with her leadership abilities and good governance record. They have put her name forward to be given higher responsibilities within the United Nations of Earth's governance structure. However, she is beloved by Earth's population, who would be sad to see her go. I'm gonna hire her. It would take some resources, but she's a level 2 governor with the traits talented and intellectual. So I'm gonna rehire her, Zainab Hassan. Congratulations and welcome back to the team. And also congratulations everyone, we've made it to the year 2201. You may celebrate as appropriate. We missed the first of the month. I don't know why. It's the second of the month. Those basic factories constructed. We've dropped to -4. -4 monthly gain. We've dropped that deficit down. We were at -12, and then we were at -15, and then we dropped it down to -4 with the newly constructed basic factories, and also take into account the population and the growing population on Earth. So thankfully we figured out how to solve a problem there. Also, I'm going to postpone the development of urban dwellings. I'm placing basic factories at commercial nexus first to assure that consumer goods will exist and be in the positives in 2202. Year-end economic outlook. Energy Directorate, grid strain analysis pre and post array shutdown. Mid-cycle activation report, public sentiment tracking. Emergency procurement costs, Q2, Q3 spike analysis. Annual review of public park maintenance funding. Culinary trends report, rise of synthetic spice blends. Interdepartmental email etiquette update. Manufacturing output variability, Eurasian Corridor and Pacific Rim. Small business licensing renewals, non-priority cases. Lost and found inventory from government buildings. That might be fun to read. "17 umbrellas. 9 reusable water flasks, 4 pairs of reading glasses, 1 pair of prescription sunglasses, 2 scarves, 1 insulated lunch container, 3 data pads, 2 portable chargers, 1 outdated comm unit, 1 set of wireless earbuds, left earbud missing, 14 pens, 6 notebooks, 1 binder labeled Q3 scheduling draft. Reviewed, contains only empty templates, no operational content. 3 access badges, all expired, deactivated. 2 jackets, 1 pair of gloves, 1 folded blanket, left in a waiting area. 1 small plush toy, metal key with no matching lock. Sealed envelope containing 12 credits. Logged and transferred to public funds holding. One handwritten note reading, "Meeting moved to 14:30. Don't forget the samples." No samples found. No associated case number, no security relevance. Whoa. Disposition actions. Alright. It's for our building, huh? Directorate of Administrative Services. Will let time continue? Sorry, I didn't give you your guys' warning yet. It's now the 3rd of January. We're moving forward now, though. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Complaint log, noise levels from public transit stations, clearance standard. A 47-page log of citizens complaining. Someone said a train sounded too confident. A bus braking system screeched in a tone that implied betrayal. Office supply procurement audit. Why do they waste their time with these things? Viral cooking show claimed that natural spices were too emotionally volatile. Black market variant SP42X was banned after causing uncontrollable optimism in test subjects. Oh man. My brain is already pretty fried from all of this. Look at that. We're already at +3 consumer goods. The world's back on track. There are no deficits. Looks like the plans are working long term. It's already April 20th. Aloha PJ Day GTX. Thank you, the Alpha Titan. What's going on? Current build. Just Earth. UNE. And it is now June 1st. So Now's a good time to switch over. I've made the changes that I could make to fix the problem on Earth using the tools that I've been given. And we've solved one of the biggest problems, but one of the upcoming problems that I can foresee is a minerals deficit. And we will have to resolve that. Alloy Quarry Foundry will definitely help with that. So what I'm going to do is construct one of these, the Alloy Quarry Foundry. Maybe plan for a few years down the line. Almost forgot about that. That was a very important. Primitive mine. We have access to that for urban expansion. Approximate jobs production, 8.58 for minerals. Primitive mining tunnels that snake through the ground. In an urban expansion district. If we wait, we can build another city district on the planet and then add on some primitive mines. All right, everyone. I'll see you next time. Come on back, and we're gonna start again from 2201, June 1st. That's where we are today, and we're gonna keep the time there, like we're frozen in time. I'm gonna go take a breather. And I shall be back. Check out my live stream after this. Like, subscribe video. Thank you for that, and I'll see you next time.